Welcome to the PA Data Power Shot. Students with a history of lower achievement. Can they grow too? We hope that you find this brief power shot to be powerful in your work. Check out the companion guide that accompanies this power shot to learn how to use this video and get ideas for action planning. It's true that when students have a history of lower achievement, they may have more ground to make up than other students in order to reach proficiency. Educators may be concerned that it will be more difficult for those students to show growth, a light blue or dark blue color indicator in PVAS, which is what we all want to see when we review our PVAS reports. But with PVAS, we'll show you how schools and educators are neither at an advantage nor a disadvantage by the achievement levels of students they serve, including serving many students with a history of lower achievement. It is possible for groups of students with lower achievement to show both lower and higher growth in PVAS. Let's talk about how growth is measured for students with a history of lower achievement. We know that the PSSAs and Keystone exams are designed to distinguish proficiency from non-proficiency. However, they are also designed to distinguish between the 4 performance levels of below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced. We also know that many schools often measure students' achievement in terms of the percentage of students performing in each of these 4 performance levels. Students may score all along that achievement continuum, above proficiency or below proficiency. It is important to recognize that when calculating growth, PVAS does not use the percentage of students who are proficient or not proficient, nor the percentages of students in each of the performance levels. Rather, PVAS uses more specific measures, the scaled scores across all of those performance levels, in order to measure growth for students all along the achievement continuum, including those students who have a history of lower achievement. PVAS provides a more sensitive measure of change in student performance over time. Let's consider a hypothetical example to understand how it is possible for students with a history of lower achievement to show growth. Imagine that you have a group of students where 100% of those students are performing below proficiency. The range of the student scores within the below basic and basic ranges would likely vary. It is important to remember that each group of students in PVAS serves as their own control. In other words, growth is based not just upon where the group of students ended, but also on where the group of students started, their own baseline. In terms of growth, students could increase in their achievement or gain ground. They could maintain their achievement, or they could decrease in their achievement or slip and fall behind. In order to get a green color in PVAS, the group of students would simply need to maintain their achievement from where they started. They would not need to reach proficiency. Proficiency is a measure of achievement. In PVAS, we are talking about growth. If schools want to raise achievement for those students, they will need to see blues on their PVAS reporting, indicating that the students are increasing in their achievement over time. They are moving in the right direction. Let's illustrate this a little further. Remember, this is a group of students where all students are below proficiency to start. This group of students, on average, could move further behind, lower, into the basic and below basic ranges compared to where they started, and this would be a yellow or red in PVAS. Or this group of students could, on average, increase their achievement and gain ground. This would be a light blue or dark blue in PVAS. None of the students may have reached proficiency, yet they did, on average, gain ground or increase their average achievement. It is possible that we could see this group of students begin 100% in the below basic level and could increase their achievement, on average, but yet still be 100% at the below basic level. They could still gain ground and get a light blue or dark blue in PVAS. It is important to remember that PVAS colors are an indicator of growth, not achievement. Groups of students with a history of lower achievement can receive any of the 5 growth color indicators. In other words, students with a history of lower achievement can gain ground, they can maintain their achievement, or they can slip and fall behind. Now let's look at some evidence from schools and classrooms right here in Pennsylvania. Evidence of growth with students with a history of lower achievement. This scatter plot shows two pieces of information, with each purple dot representing a teacher's group of students. On the vertical axis, we see the achievement level of the group of students, going from students with lower achievement on the bottom to students with higher achievement on the top. On the horizontal axis, we see growth for that same group of students. Those right in the middle, at around 0, are students maintaining. Those above 0 are showing higher growth, or gaining. And those below 0 are showing lower growth, or falling behind. For teachers of students with a history of lower achievement, we see schools with both higher and lower growth. This is the same when looking at growth for teachers of students with a history of higher achievement. The proof is in the data, real data from PA schools. All achievement levels can reach all levels of growth. This means that we, as educators, don't want to set our expectations lower for students who have a history of lower achievement. We can impact the growth of all students, see those PVOS greens and blues, and get all learners moving in the right direction. To dig into how curriculum, instruction, and assessment practices may impact student achievement and growth, download the 5 Digging Deeper guides. These resources are designed to help you analyze why you may be seeing the results you're seeing with achievement and growth. A guide is available for all 3 content areas of ELA, math, and science, and for students with a history of both higher and lower achievement. To download these guides, visit pa.gov/education and search for Digging Deeper. On this website, you can also view our other PowerShot videos on growth, achievement, and students with various achievement histories. For additional support, contact the PVOS statewide team for PDE using the contact information provided on screen. Thanks for watching.